Hey y'all, it's me. I am here for episode 2 of the Shatter Me series. There are 3 more books to read and 3 more novellas that will be in this episode, and I'm excited to get into it because I have Restore Me, which is book 4 in the series, all ready to go. It looks like it's going to be dual POV between Juliet and Warner, and I'm really actually super interested and excited to get into this 4th book because apparently the 3rd book was supposed to be the final installment in the series. And then Tahara Mafi just decided to write 3 more books. I want to know if the story gets any better. I want to know what happens. What was the need for another 3 books and 3 more novellas? So I'm gonna start Restore Me now, and I will let you know what the hell happens in this book, as well as my opinions and if I like it or not. I didn't have the brightest and most positive opinion of the first 3 books. I think the story is kind of cool. I do like the character of Juliet for the most part, and I don't honestly care for Warner. Like, I'm trying to fall in love with him. I know he's y'all's book boyfriend. Like, I get it. I've seen the tweets, I've seen the TikToks, I've seen the thirst traps, I've seen the fan edits, and I'm just a girl who's trying to understand and wants to get on the same page as everyone else. But we'll see if that actually ends up happening. So I'm gonna shut up, I'm gonna read Restore Me, and I will update you along the way and definitely update you at the end of the book. Guys, I'm already cringing so hard. It's so Disney Channel, okay? It's so Disney Channel. Like, literally page one, Kenji, who is her friend, comes in and he's like, Jay, you gotta do something about this guy. You gotta do something. I'm on the run at this point. And he's talking about Warner. Warner shows up, puts a gun to Kenji's head, and he's like, don't talk to my girl like that. Don't talk to my supreme leader like that. And then she's like, what is going on? Why are you boys fighting? Like, you guys are supposed to be friends. And Warner's like, yeah, we were friends until he butchered my hair. And he turns around and he's got like chunks cut out of his head. And Kenji's like, well, you know, like, beauty is in the eye of the beholder and everything. And then Warner hits him over the head with the gun, and then Kenji leaves. Like, Kenji goes to leave, but then he like opens the door for one more quick little dig to get in there, and he says, I think the cut looks cute actually, and Warner slams the door in his face. Welcome to my brand new life as Supreme Commander of the Reestablishment. It's like so Disney Channel. It's like, welcome to my life. Like, I love cringe. I try to embrace the cringe. I really do in my daily life. I try to embrace the cringe and not be embarrassed of my own self. But the secondhand embarrassment I'm getting while reading these books, like, it is very palpable. Okay, I realize I didn't really set the stage for this episode. Okay, here's where we ended the 3rd book at. Juliet has taken over the Reestablishment. She shot Mr. Anderson in the head twice. Mr. Anderson was the main big baddie of the Reestablishment. Okay, he had been the one torturing people, starving people, using his military for evil purposes. He's also Warner and Adam's father. We met Adam at first in the first part of the series, and then we met Warner later. She is more in love with Warner. He is her boyfriend at this point. She broke up with Adam like 2 whole books ago, and Adam has been like dealing with that. She has taken over Sector 45. Okay, she is the new leader of the Reestablishment, and they're all living together in Sector 45. So all of the superhero characters from the 3rd book that we have left, we've got Juliet, Adam, Warner, Kenji, Adam's brother, James, who's also Warner's brother. They found out that they were brothers in the 3rd book. We also have Winston and Brendan and Castle. Castle was the old leader of Omega Point, which was like the Society of Superheroes. They all were killed at the end of the 2nd book / beginning of the 3rd book. And then we also, I believe we should have the Healer Girls. I cannot for the life of me remember their names. They're twin girls and they're the healers. And that's like pretty much it. I'm sure there's more characters to be further revealed, maybe not, but that's where we ended the 3rd book with. Everyone is together in Sector 45. Juliet is the supreme leader, and right now it says that it's been 2 weeks later here in the 4th book, and nothing's really happened. There's been like no uprising. Everyone is living very peacefully, and it's like kind of itching away at Juliet. She's like, when is the other shoe gonna drop? I don't feel safe or secure here yet. And yeah, so that's where we're at. All right, I have it complete. I have something to complain about. So I don't even know how far I am into the book, probably like 100 pages, something like that. We have constantly been getting this issue popping up throughout the book. Okay, Juliet is the supreme leader. She's blah, blah, blah. She's over the continent. Okay, we have had a man, I don't know, named Hader, who is the son of the Asian supreme leader. Okay, so like there's like everything is split up by continents. The son of the supreme leader from Asia has come to America to see like Juliet and like the new regime that she is going to be reigning over, right? Okay. And he keeps bringing up these things like, oh, have you not done this? Why is this not done? Why is this different? What are you going to do about this? Like asking her all these questions that a supreme leader would know about. And she's very lost. She's just very like wide-eyed and embarrassed because she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that. And Warner, because we keep getting Juliet's perspective than Warner's perspective, and Warner, he keeps like blaming himself for not preparing her well enough. And he's like, oh, I wanted to shield her from this, and oh, like she wasn't ready to take this on, and like there's a reason why I didn't want to be the supreme leader, because I didn't want the responsibility, and like I feel so much for her because she's gonna have to deal with so much stuff. And it's like, prepare her. There's this whole festival event that's gonna happen. I don't know too much about it, but she was like totally unaware of it. And then when Hader, who's the son of the Asian continent supreme leader, he like brings up the festival, he's like, I'm so excited to see how you guys do the festival. And she's just like, yeah, of course, the festival. Like, yes, I did hear about that. I've been very busy, she says quietly. This is Warner's POV. It's my fault I cut in. I was supposed to follow up on the matter and I forgot, but we'll be finalizing the program today. And then Hader is talking about the children of the other supreme commanders throughout the other continents. He's talking about how they all know each other, like all the kids of the supreme leaders know each other. And then Hader is talking about how all of the other children of these other supreme commanders, supreme leaders are all going to come together for a reunion. He's like, we haven't gotten the whole group together in so long. The whole group, Juliet says softly. Then she frowns. How many more kids are there? Hader's fake exuberance turns suddenly strange, cold. He looks at me with both anger and confusion when he says, you've told her nothing about us? Now Juliet is staring at me, her eyes widen perceptibly. I can feel her fear spike, and I'm still trying to figure out how to tell her not to worry when Hader clamps down on my arm and pulls me forward, and like he says something to him. Maybe I'm jumping to conclusions a little bit, but I am getting the vibe that Warner is trying to protect her from responsibility. Okay, or he thinks that she can't handle it. And she is very stressed, granted, so like I am trying to empathize with him not wanting to put everything on her lap all at once. But like this festival thing, for example, is in 2 days, and she's just like, oh, I didn't know that that was like a big deal. Like, of course I'd heard about it, but I had no idea that the people actually expected something out of me and us for this. And then Warner is like, oh yeah, don't worry, we'll take care of it. And like, I'm just getting this vibe that he doesn't trust that she can take care of it and that she can handle all these things. And I hate that in books. I hate that when the main love interest doesn't believe in her strength. And oftentimes when there's a love triangle, usually there's one person who doesn't believe in the main character's strength and wants to protect them and hide them from like the evils of the world. And then the other person, which is normally the person that they end up with and they're like truly supposed to be with or whatever, they believe in their strength and they believe that they can handle everything. They almost trust and believe in the person more than the person believes and trusts in themselves, and that gives them the confidence to move forward. But I just don't like this vibe that I'm getting that Warner is like, I don't want to say he's lying to her, but he's just like keeping information from her because he thinks she can't handle it all. I don't know where we're going with that. It's just weird. I had to complain about it. Okay. Hi, good morning. It is the next day and I have the craziest reveal because I was reading a little bit last night and we got like the biggest plot twisty reveal of all time. Okay, so we found out that Juliet has a sister. Her sister, I think her name was like Emmeline or something like that. Emmeline something. Their parents gave them up to the reestablishment to do experiments on. Okay, Castle is talking to Warner and he's like, hey, remember that girl that you had to torture for your father to like prove to your father that you were like a good enough soldier and like, you know, the son that he's been raising and everything? That was Juliet's sister. Okay, so we just have suddenly now this new character introduced to us via the fact that Warner tortured her, and he explains to Warner that their parents gave them up to do experiments on for the reestablishment. And so the parents that she had in the first book, they were her adoptive parents. They were not her biological parents. She was given up as a baby, a young kid, and they took her sister Emmeline first because she was showing that she had powers, and Juliet's like a couple years younger. So they took Emmeline, they started to do experiments on her, they started torturing her, they started ordering other people to torture her, I guess, because that's what Warner was doing. And then they took Juliet and gave her to the adoptive parents because they were like, we need to keep an eye on her and make sure she doesn't have powers as well. And then once she showed that she does have powers, that's when they then put her in the insane asylum for like a whole year. And then from there, that's when Adam broke her out of jail, out of the insane asylum that happened in the first book. But Castle said that he had always known that she was in there, and that he, with Omega Point Underground, were going to try and get her out as well, to like have her for their resistance. But the reestablishment, like obviously they wanted her too because she's just like strong or whatever, or they wanted to kill her. It's not very clear what that is. Yeah, so Warner has this information and he's like struggling to tell Juliet. He still has not told Juliet. They just had like a fun sexy time, and he still has not told Juliet that she has a sister. He tortured her sister. Her parents are not her parents, and her real parents gave her up to the reestablishment to do experiments on, along with her sister. And that's crazy. That's like a crazy, this book, honestly, there's so much action in it. There's so much more action in this one than there was in the third book, which was supposed to be the finale. I remember complaining that in the third book, Ignite Me, I believe, it was supposed to be the finale, and we had like a half a page of her fighting the weapon that Mr. Anderson brought to bring her to her knees and to end her. And then the next chapter is her shooting Anderson in the face twice, and it's like 3 lines long. It's like, I shoot him in the face. Once for Adam, once for Warner. And that's like the whole chapter. And that's all the action that we get in the supposed finale of the book. So Restore Me is already like, she's pulling out the punches. She's pulling out some information. I am definitely enjoying it. Like, I can't lie, I am totally enjoying this one. We just had an assassination attempt on Juliet as well, okay? So the Supreme Commander of Asia, his son Hayter, and his daughter, oh, I can't remember her name. It's like Nazira or something like that. They are there to visit, but Warner has figured out that they're actually there to just get information on Juliet and see how strong and powerful she really is, to bring that information back to their parents so that they can like overtake her. Like, hopefully they want to overtake her is what I'm getting, because she just killed Mr. Anderson. Okay, he was like the Supreme Commander of North America, and now she's the Supreme Commander of North America. So all these other members of the reestablishment, all these other commanders of the reestablishment, they're like, we're not gonna let some 17-year-old girl. Okay, but we hear that she's really strong, so let's go figure out exactly how strong she is. So there was an assassin. He was literally just labeled as like a random man with tattoos, like a man from the sector had come up on her. She was alone, and he just shot her a bunch of times with like poison bullets. And then the 2 healer girls, I believe it's to this, oh my god, literally yesterday I was saying their names over and over again because it's so embarrassing that I can't remember them. I think it's Sora and girl, I don't know. I do not remember these twins' names, but the healer girls, okay, they were healing, and then Warner came to, you know, use their power to also heal, because that's his power, is that he can like use other people's power and like siphon from other people's powers. Actually, I don't think siphon is the right word, because it's not like he's taking their power away from them or making them weaker when he uses their power. He just has the full ability that they do when he wants to use someone else's power. So that happened. She almost died, and then Warner found out about her history. And it's crazy. It's actually like really intriguing, and the fact that there's these other Supreme Commanders that are like now coming after her, it's shaping up for, I don't know, a really good climax and like more of an epic story, which I think that the first 3 books was definitely lacking in. Oh yeah, and Warner is still wanting to protect her from everything. Like, he knows he has to tell her all of this information, but he's so scared to, and I don't blame him for that, because like he has to admit that he was torturing her little sister. Oh, and her sister's still alive, okay? That was also mentioned, that her sister is still being tortured by the reestablishment somewhere, okay? But he is like not wanting to give her information. He is not wanting to properly prepare her for this job because he knows how hard it is, and he's scared for her. It just reads like he has no confidence in her, and I hate that so much. So I don't know, hopefully Warner has a little bit of redemption here. I can see that Adam is already gaining some redemption because he's trying to have conversations with Warner and his brother James, which now they're all three brothers apparently, because you know James is Adam's brother and then Warner is also Adam's brother, so they're all three brothers. Yeah, there's just been a couple of moments where Adam and James have been talking to Warner and it's been like good and fine, like they've been very cordial with each other. So I can see that Adam is getting a lot of redemption, but I feel like Warner just keeps falling farther and farther into the depths for me because he just does not like trust her ability. Like he doesn't think she can handle things and that she's just too much of a little soft kitten to be able to take anything on. I don't know, it's not my favorite kind of MMC moment when they don't believe that the girl is as powerful as she really, I don't know, whatever, we'll see. I'm gonna stop yapping. I'm gonna get back to finishing this book because it's already been a day. I was supposed to finish it yesterday. Okay, one thing about me is I am never going to be nitpicky. Okay, I won't say never, but more likely than not, I am not going to be nitpicky about grammar in books because I myself I'm not always the most grammatically correct person. Grammar is not my forte. Okay, I'm not an English major, nothing like that. But when there's a very clear misspelling in a book, like a book that's been published forever, especially a book that's like far into a series, it's not like someone's debut novel, and it was traditionally published, it's not like this is an indie book. When I find a misspelled word, it bothers me so bad. Warner finally told Juliet everything and she's freaking out, she runs away. And then Warner is having this pity party. I mean, okay, I'm not trying to be dismissive of him. I understand I've been so dismissive of him. He starts having like a full-blown panic attack and I do feel bad for him for that because that really sucks and that's really hard to deal with. And Kenji walks in and Kenji like helps him through it. And so then Warner tells him everything that he told Juliet. You know, she's got a sister that's alive. Her real parents gave her up to the reestablishment to be a science experiment. I tortured her sister. And then Kenji's like, then why would you lie to her? But it's spelled they. Why would you lie to her? And like spelling mistakes in books, that will always irk me. That will always irk me. Guys, it's ramping up. It's ramping the fuck. I have 3 chapters left and then I'm gonna tell you everything that just happened, but I'm shocked. I'm shocked. Okay, hold on. I'll talk to you in a minute. Cut the camera's dead ass. Cut the camera's dead ass. Okay. Oh my god, I don't know. Oh my god, I don't know where to start with this. That was crazy. That was what I've been waiting for with this series. Okay, I feel so bad that episode 1 was just so lackluster because she just simply didn't write enough in them. Oh my god, guys. Okay, I need to get myself together. So the last time I believe I updated you had to do with the fact that Warner had found out all of this stuff about Juliet. Okay, he found out that her biological parents gave her up as a science experiment to the reestablishment. Her adoptive parents were the ones that put her in the insane asylum. They also like tortured her while she was a child with them. They were just like not good to her. And that she has a sister named Emmeline, and Emmeline was this girl that Warner was tasked with torturing, like as part of like proving to his father that he was like, okay, here's the thing, like his mother was going to be left behind and he begged his father for him to stay behind with his mother, and his dad was like, okay, if you want to stay with your mom that bad, if you want to stay here that bad, you have to prove that you're like willing to like take on the responsibility of this military and everything, and that you're willing to do these horrible torturous things, so you got to go torture this little girl. Okay, and so that's what he did. I don't know, it had something to do with water torture. There wasn't a whole lot of information about that, but it's like plagued Warner ever since, right? Like he's very upset that he ever had to do that. And then he finds out through Castle that that was Juliet's literal sister, her older sister. He is just upset with that fact and he has to tell her now. So he tells Juliet all of this and she runs away. She has to get away from him. Like she cannot handle this information right now. So she runs away. She runs to like kind of like a deserty kind of area is the way that it felt in my brain. And she's very upset because while she says that she can control her powers, it's like if you punch through something, you're not actually like feeling the pain and the effort of what it takes to punch through something. So like if you're so mad, like you have to like hit a wall or like kick a wall. I've never been that mad, okay? I'm not a violent person. I can't imagine like being in her situation, like finding all this out that your sister was literally tortured by your boyfriend. Like she wants to hit a wall, right? There's like this abandoned school bus in the area, and she goes to the school bus, she like punches her way through it, she kicks her way through it, and she's just like not finding any semblance of relief with the physical damage that she's trying to create, because it just like kind of goes right through her, you know? And she eventually just screams. She's so mad that she screams, and the bus splits open, and it splits like in half at her feet, you know? And so she's like, oh, I've never been able to do that before, that's crazy. And then Nazira comes up, and Nazira is the daughter of the Supreme Commander of Asia. She's like, oh, Juliet, like I've been trying to tell you, like I'm on your side and like I'm here for you and all this stuff. She has a power of flight, so she picks up Juliet, she like puts her in a tree, and she's like, what's going on, why are you so upset? She talks it out with Juliet, and Juliet is like, wow, I didn't know you had a power. And Nazira is like, yeah, I don't tell people I have a power because I don't want to be an experiment, duh. So we know that bit, and we also know that Nazira is like on her side supposedly, okay? So she has an ally there. She goes back to the place that she is now Supreme Commander of, and she finds her way into Mr. Anderson's quarters, which are now her quarters because she's the Supreme Commander, right? She finds her way into like his alcohol room, and she gets drunk. She's never drank before. She finds some whiskey and she drinks a bunch of it. She passes out. Kenji and Warner find her. She is just like super drunk, super belligerent. Warner's able to get her into the shower, get her to bed, and she like forgets that she's mad at Warner in these moments, and she's like, oh, will you please get in the shower with me? Will you please kiss me? Will you please hold me? I just want you. Like she's being like kind of embarrassing in that way, I guess, because she's just very vulnerable, and like the alcohol is like making her act, you know, the way that she wouldn't act if she were sober, because she's fucking mad at him, rightfully so. And he, thankfully, he understands that she's like not actually well enough to consent to anything, so he just puts her in the shower. He's like, I'll be waiting for you out here. He tucks her into bed and he leaves, okay? Good for him. Good for him. I know, the bar is on the floor. The next day she wakes up, and all these other children of other Supreme Commanders have shown up. They've all been friends before, like they've all known each other before, and this is something that Warner has not prepared Juliet for. So for instance, the daughter of the Supreme Commander of Europe, her name is Lena, she used to be Warner's ex-girlfriend, and he has not told Juliet that he's ever had an ex-girlfriend. And so the next day she shows up. Oh, this is important. Okay, while she was freaking out, while she was drunk in Mr. Anderson's like quarters and everything, she shaved her head. Okay, so she used to have this thick hair that she would always hide behind, and now she's completely shaved her head. She's got like a ½ inch of hair, and she's just that much more dangerous looking, striking, like serious, you know, she doesn't have this flowing locks of hair to hide behind anymore, okay? So the next morning she gets up, she goes down to breakfast, all the children of the Supreme Commanders are there, and she's like, oh yeah, I get it, like you guys are all here to spy on me, right? Like you're all here to like report back to your parents about like how bad of a leader I am, and like how easy it will be to overtake me, isn't that right? Later that day, they're supposed to have this symposium, which I talked about a little bit earlier. It's just like this biannual like celebration in a way, where the Supreme Commander talks to everyone who is in the sector. It says there's like 554 people, and then at another time it says that there's almost 600 people. So there's like 550 to 600 people in the sector that she is supposed to be addressing later that day. And Warner, of course, never prepared her for this. And so when the correspondence children of Asia showed up, he was like, oh, you guys aren't going to do the symposium? And then Warner was like, oh, I actually never warned her about that. She doesn't know what to do. And she's like, what even is that? So it's that day now. Warner has tried to talk to her. She's not having it. She doesn't forgive him. She finds out that him and Lena are exes, and he's like, oh, it was purely physical, girl. Like, don't worry about it. We just had sex a bunch of times for 2 years straight. It's nothing, like, it's not the way I feel about you, which of course makes her feel so much better. So she just leaves. She's had enough of him. All of the children from the correspondence of all the continents have shown up, except for the correspondence of Oceania. And allegedly, the correspondents of Oceania do not have any children, so they were like, oh, maybe like those adults are gonna show up, maybe not. She like sent a letter to all of the correspondents of all the continents saying, hi, I'm Juliet, like I've taken over the North America, like I'm the one for North America. I killed Mr. Anderson, and I hope to like bring this world to peace with you guys, right? So Oceania has not showed up yet, but all of the children of the other Supreme Commanders are there, okay, at the symposium. And at the symposium, she talks about how she wants to dismantle dismantle the reestablishment. She's like, I know that the reestablishment, they want to ban books, they want to get rid of all language, they want us all to have this universal human language, and like they want us all to be like super uniform and like all on the same page. There's no more culture anymore. Like they want us all to be on the same page, and I'm not doing that. I'm getting rid of that ideal right now. And so people are freaking out, people are angry at her. The Supreme Commander children, they're like, what is she talking about? The other people of the sector are just like upset about this. A shot rings out. Okay, someone has a gun and they try to assassinate her again. The bullet like falls on her forehead and she just like picks it up and like flicks it off. More chaos ensues because of that, because they're like, oh my god, she can't be killed, like what are we gonna do? They start like getting angry and crazy, and she has had enough. She's been freaking out so badly that she just starts to scream. And remember what happened the last time she screamed. She unlocked this new power she has where she can scream so hard and so loud that she can break things. She kills everybody. She kills 600 people, including multiple people of her own friends. Like multiple people who are part of Omega Point die in this moment, okay? I don't feel like we got a full list of people who are even alive. Like I feel like Warner's alive, Castle might be alive. I can't imagine they killed Kenji. And then Adam and James were not, and the twins, they were not at this symposium. They wanted to stay behind. Adam was like, I'm just here to take care of my brother. Like whatever is going on politically, that has nothing to do with me anymore. But she killed plenty of people from Omega Point, as well as 600 North Americans in attendance, okay? And then she's like freaking out. She's like got her hands on her ears. She's like, what is going on? I'm so scared. I can't believe I just killed all these people. And then this man and this woman show up. They're the correspondents of Oceania. And who else are they? Her biological parents. So her mom comes up to her. She's like, Juliet, well, she doesn't even call her Juliet because she has another name apparently. She's like, you did so good, you did just what we wanted, like you were perfect and all this stuff. It's time to come home. I'm freaking out at this point, absolutely freaking out at this point. That's the end of like the Juliet chapter, is like her parents have arrived from Oceania. Okay, they're from like New Zealand or something. And then we get a Warner chapter, which is just flatline. Like the Warner chapter is just dot 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 for the whole page. And then the final chapter is Juliet, and she's in a bedroom. She's in a child's bedroom. Likely it was her bedroom as a child, okay? She finds a box with pictures on it, and she sees pictures of her with her sister Emmeline. It's like, oh, Emmeline's first day of school, and then like she has like the little sister is like looking up to her sister. It's like, oh, it's Ella's birthday, okay? And then it's her and Emmeline as children, so we know that Juliet's real name is Ella now, I guess. And then it's like Ella, Emmeline, and Naziria. Okay, Naziria, the daughter of the Asian correspondent. So now you're like, oh my god, okay, so she's a child just like the other children of the Supreme Commanders. And we've found out throughout this book that the children of the Supreme Commanders have all been friends for years and have known each other for years. I hope you know where I'm getting at with this, because the next picture she sees is one of her and Aaron Warner as children, guys. I'm freaking out. I'm holding only one photo now, and I have to force myself, beg myself to look at it. The square Polaroid shaking in my trembling hand. It's a picture of a little boy standing next to a little girl. She's sitting in a stairwell. He looks at her as she eats a piece of cake. I flip it over. Aaron and Ella is all it says. I trip backwards, stumbling, collapse into the floor. My whole body is seizing, shaking with terror, with confusion, with impossibility. And then suddenly, as if on cue, there's a knock at my door. A woman, the woman from before, an older version of the woman in the pictures, pops her head inside, smiles at me and says, Ella, honey, don't you want to come outside? Your dinner is getting cold, and I'm certain I'm gonna be sick. The room tilts around me. I see spots, feel myself sway, and then all at once, the world goes black. And that's the end of the book! That was great. That's an easy 4 stars for me. That was easy 4 stars. That was so good. I hope I'm not forgetting anything important. Like obviously if there's something that was mentioned in this book that I'm gonna need to repeat to you guys for the next couple books, I will definitely do that. I love being shocked. I did not see that coming in the slightest. Of course I was curious. Who are her parents? I thought it was gonna be a thing of like, oh, she's gonna find them in the last book. She's gonna go on this adventure to try and find them, and Warner's gonna help her and blah 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 blah. We still don't know where her sister is, but what it seems like like is that her parents are very big believers of the reestablishment, or on the opposite factor, they hate the reestablishment so much that they let them take their girls. That I don't know, guys. I don't know, because they literally gave up their children to be tortured. On one hand, I'm thinking, oh, well, they gave up Juliet slash Ella to have her recognize her powers and to become more powerful, and that's literally what ended up happening. So when they're like, oh, we're so proud of you, Ella, like you did exactly what we wanted, it's time to come home now. But Emmeline's literally just been tortured for like 12 years at this point, so I don't know where they get off on that one. I don't know if we're supposed to trust the parents. I'm so excited. The next book in the series is actually going to be the novella. I think it's called Shadow Me. I have it downloaded from the Libby app, thank God. Okay, Shadow Me is the next novella, and it's literally due in like 24 hours. So I'm just gonna sit here and read it. And I don't know who's the POV. I don't know what's gonna happen. Oh, fan favorite character Kenji Kishimoto narrates the gripping companion novella. Okay, cool. So it's Kenji's story. That's cool. Okay, I'm excited for that for sure. All right, I'm gonna read that and report back to you. That was crazy. That was crazy. Okay, I just finished Shadow Me, the novella, after Restore Me. This one is from Kenji's point of view, and I did a little peek. The next book in the series, Defy Me, this is the 5th book in the series. It looks like it's gonna have dual POV between Kenji, Warner, and Juliet slash Ella now, I guess is her name, but she's still going by Juliet so far from what I can see. So with this novella, it starts like the day before the massacre happens, the biannual meeting with everyone who's in North America. Okay, it just kind of leads up to that. We get a little insight on Kenji. He talks about how he is the only man who like truly knows and understands Juliet. He confirms, I mean, he's been confirming that he has no romantical feelings for her whatsoever. She's like completely a sister to him. He like truly just has platonic and like strong feelings for her, and just the way that like a brother would want to protect a sister, right? So we get a little insight on how he feels like he knows her the best because he has been with her from the very beginning, which is so true. I feel like I write Kenji off because he's just supposed to be more so like the comedic relief, and he does not have a lot of story, but he's been there since the very beginning. He was with Adam when they got her out of the insane asylum in the first book. He was there for her when she met Warner, when she was having to choose between the two boys, when she was betrayed by Adam, and then when she was betrayed by Warner. Like, Kenji has been there for her since the beginning, so I'm glad that he's getting a little POV. I think that he deserves it at this point. The only really big piece of information that we learn here, they're having the moment where Juliet is standing up in front of everyone and talking to them, and they're all angry at her because they want to still live within the reestablishment. And we get insight from Kenji that these people that she's talking to, they are like higher up leaders within the reestablishment, and so like for her to say we're gonna go back to the way things were, these people are gonna be really angry now, and like obviously they do become angry because they try to assassinate her. He says that if they were to go back to the way the world was, where like families could be together, there was no like power imbalance, these people would lose these privileges that they have as leaders and military leaders of the reestablishment. So that's why they're so angry, because they don't want to lose those privileges that they have, like extra food, extra comfort. Like, they live better than the regular everyday people who live within the reestablishment within the countries. So that's why they're angry. So what happens is she screams and she kills everyone. Kenji like looks out into the crowd and he sees people like laying there with their chests like completely blasted open, blood everywhere. And then he looks at Juliet, he's like, I gotta get Juliet, and he like goes to reach for her. It's a split second where everything goes dark and it feels like the world kind of like falls on its side, and then when the light comes back up, she's completely gone. And so that's when her parents had grabbed her at the end of Restore Me. So that's what that looked like for everyone else who was alive there. But also when the lights come back on basically and Juliet's gone, everyone is alive. So I'm sure this is going to be an issue where she thinks that she's killed everyone. She's killed 600 people, and she's got to like deal with that fact, or she doesn't want to use her powers, or she's very angry about this, blah, blah, blah. But then she's actually going to find out that she ended up not killing anybody, or she killed them, and when her parents came, they restored. Oh, restored. Oh, that's cute. Okay, yeah, because the book's called Restore Me. Anyway, they might have like restored everyone in that moment. That's like the only thing that we learn, and that's like to set us up going into the 5th book, I guess. which is called Defy Me. I had a couple of little notes from Restore Me that I wrote and I didn't get into, so I'm just going to lay those out right here. At the beginning of the book, she talks about how she has completely controlled her powers now, and she knows this because she can like turn her powers on and turn her powers off. And at the end of the 3rd book, when she has taken the role of the Supreme Leader, she's killed Mr. Anderson and everything. I talked about this a bit in the last video, where she's walking through the crowd of people and she's not nervous or scared because she has learned how to control her power so well that she is able to be touched and touch people. So like she's walking through the crowd and people are like grabbing her and touching her and like so happy that she has like granted them this like new life, I guess, or whatever, because she's killed Mr. Anderson. They're not dying, right? Because they're touching her. And so she talks about how like, oh, I can turn my power on and off now. I've learned how to do this. And then she says, not that it really matters, of course. I've now learned how to turn my powers on and off at will, but not everyone knows that yet. And my note was, I think they do. Like there would be reports, like people who aren't in the area in North America, like they would know that you were killing people, and everyone who's there in your sector and in North America, they know that you can turn your powers on and off because you haven't killed anyone. You've been touching people. So it was just like silly, like I was like, yeah, I think they do know. I highlighted this. I thought this was a really good line. I read this and I was like, oh, I could get this tattooed. It says, those who do not understand you, I say softly, will always doubt you. Profound, okay. I'm irritated with Warner not telling Juliet things. He just wants to keep things from her over and over, and it's so irritating. Oh, okay, so here's another cool moment where Warner is having a panic attack. Juliet has just broken up with him because, you know, he kept all these secrets from her, and he tortured her little sister, or her older sister, excuse me. James and Adam come into his room and he's like, oh, are you crying? What's wrong? And Warner's like, leave me alone. I'm good. It's fine. Get out of my room. And James is like, oh, you look like you need a hug. And so he goes over to hug him. He says, well, you seem sad. James says, right now, I say stiffly, this is Warner talking, all I'm feeling is irritation. I do not want a hug. James has put his hand on Warner's shoulder and arm, like he's like trying to like go in for a hug, but Warner is not accepting it. And then James says, but you feel better though, huh? He smiles, pats my arm. See, I told you it helps to talk about it. And so like there's just this continuous theme of how important human touch is, and I like believe in that psychology so much that human touch really is like the greatest healer of all time. I watched this amazing documentary that came out last year called Daughters on Netflix. It's about this prison where these men are incarcerated, and there has been this new program that has come about for like a daddy-daughter dance, and these men have to go through like 6 weeks of therapy within the other men who are going to be able to participate in the daddy-daughter dance, and with this woman who talks about like how important the human touches and how like they have to prepare themselves for this dance because they're gonna have the ability to have human touch with with their daughter, like someone that they love, and how awful and hard it's gonna be to end that dance. And that's like literally the reason for the therapy, is to prepare them for what happens after they have had this human interaction and human touch with someone that they love, and then what it's gonna be like when that's been taken away from them, because the dance is only an evening long, you know. And it's like one of the most poignant and like most sensitive topics of all time, and the documentary is beautiful. I mean, wonderfully done. I think that it just fuels my point so well that human touch is so necessary and so healing, and this book touches on that a lot, and I think that that's really just smart and interesting and cool of the book to have that be such a prominent theme since the very beginning of the story. So anyway, okay, I'm gonna stop yapping now. That was Restore Me, that was Shadow Me, and now I'm going to start Defy Me. Say hi to Pancake. Okay, I am barely like 4 chapters into this book, and just like all the other books, all the chapters are like 2-3 pages long. Like it's very, very quick, and we're already getting so much whiplash, so much information. I'm almost afraid. I don't know how I want to go about vlogging this part of the book because there's so much information. It's like, do I stop every time something crazy happens to update you? Or do I wait until I'm like 50% of the way through the book, give you an update, and then wait till I'm finished to give you the rest of the update? Because like, what if oh my god, like I'm just stressing about it because we're getting so much information. Like there's so much happening, and I'm really excited. Honestly, that's the number one emotion that I'm feeling the most, is excitement I finally feel excited while reading these books, and that's so cool. Reporting from the bath. What do you mean Aaron always fell in love with her every time? Okay, I know I've given no information as to like what has been going on in this book, but Anderson is back. I literally feel like the devil's back. Like my heart's racing right now. I can't wait to I need to update you guys, but I can't do it in this state because I can't even get my thoughts together, and I'm up to here in bubbles, but like what the fuck? The sheer gravity and terror of what I think this line means, guys, I'm not okay. Really how we're ending it? Like, okay, I can't hate it. To relax. I can't be teary-eyed about a birthday party. All right, y'all ready for the spark notes for Defy Me? Okay, let's go. Okay, so we left off the 4th book. This is now the 5th book. At the end of the 4th book, her parents came and captured Juliet. Okay, they are from Oceania. They are the supreme ambassador, supreme leaders, like whatever for Oceania. They're from New Zealand, and that's where Juliet grew up, and that's where she grew up with her sister Emmeline. And we find out that she also hung out with, like grew up and like played with the other kids of the other supreme leaders. So that means Naziria, that means Warner, that means just like all of the other kids that Warner has known his whole life. She grew up with them as well. Well, here's the thing. So Juliet and her sister Emmeline, they were considered like the first unusuals. They were the first people to show to have some kind of power to them. And their parents were immediately like, oh, how do we exploit this? Let's use this to our advantage for the rest of society, and let's do experiments on them. So they picked up Emmeline. They immediately threw her into experiments. She was like the stronger one, and she was like more headstrong as well, whereas Juliet was just like more calm, like kind of like a little kitten, just like her powers didn't really like come to fruition until she was older. And that was the reason why they gave her to her adopted parents and then eventually put her in the insane asylum, because they wanted to torture her enough to make her powers be known, right? And so she was heavily tortured by her adoptive parents. I haven't talked about that a lot in this series, but yeah, they were really abusive to her, unfortunately. There's honestly just so much violence against these children, because we've also learned just more about Warner's upbringing with his father. His father would beat him and just abuse him in horrifying ways. Every year on his birthday, he would get like lashings on his back, like, you know, you joke about like birthday spankings or whatever. No, like he would get fucking whipped for on his, oh my god, like I just like when I put into perspective that these are like literally children, it just makes me sick to my stomach. But anyway, it's fiction, Emma, it's fiction. So Juliet has been captured by her parents again. They're doing a lot of experiments to her. She undergoes what they had been doing to her from the very beginning, which was basically zapping her memories. They would hold her down and they just like inject her brain with a bunch of stuff, and it would cause her to just kind of like restart her life. She would have no previous memory of anything. We get a lot of flashback scenes with her and Warner growing up, which is so crazy and like really cute but really devastatingly sad. They were apparently like friends and lovers in every life, like to the most degree. Every time she would get her memories wiped, every time he would get his memories wiped, it was like a joke to Mr. Anderson, because when her parents gave her up, they gave her to Mr. Anderson. He was like her social worker. That's how she knew him. And he would zap her memories all the time because it would cause Warner to become weak, right? Like if he was in love, he's weak. If he is helping this girl out, he's weak. Every time Warner would show that this affection to Juliet, even after zapping her memories and his memories, they would just have to do it again. And then eventually he gave her over to the adoptive parents, who were tasked with torturing her and hurting her until her powers came to be. And then that's when she showed up in the insane asylum. So her and Warner have known each other forever. Their memories are coming back. And while she's been like kidnapped from her parents at the end of the last book, they zapped her memories again, but she's strong enough to remember everything. Like, she immediately recognizes her mom. Her mom's name is Evie. She pretends like, oh, I'm your doctor, I'm your nurse, I'm here to help you out. But like in Juliet's mind, she knows. Here's the other thing, this has been tripping me up, because Juliet's real name is Ella, and I want to keep calling her Ella, so I'm gonna do that interchangeably. Like, I'm gonna try to remember to say like Juliet / Ella. In my brain and in my mouth, I want to say Ella. Ella is so much easier to say, and that's like what they've been calling her throughout the last end of the book. I believe I said in episode 1, I was complaining like, everyone's name changes so much. Girl, you don't even know how many names have been changed yet, because our whole main character has a whole new name. But anyway, so Ella's the main character. Ella's Juliet, okay? Anytime I say Ella, I'm talking about Juliet. The sisters were Emmeline and Ella, okay? While she is in the whole science building, experiment building, whatever that her parents have had her in, she escapes and she's able to find her sister. She has like heard her sister talking in her brain. Her sister's power is illusion, so she can like literally create, oh, it's so sick. Okay, let me back up. So she finds her sister. Her sister has been in this water tank, and she's like basically like grown gills. She has like webbed fingers. Like, she has totally evolved to be like a water person in a way. And when Warner was tasked with torturing her sister as a kid, because that was his punishment for wanting to like stay back and hang out with his mom, not hang out with his mom, but just like take care of his mom, because his father, Mr. Anderson, just wanted to like let his mom die, but he was like, let me stay with my mom, please. And then Mr. Anderson was like, okay, sure, you can, but you have to torture this little girl. And he had no idea who the little girl was, of course, but he had to like torture her in the water. I have some things highlighted, so we're gonna go like into the book as well, but I'm just giving like the rundown, the spark notes of it all, okay? Emmeline is in this torture water chamber, and she's been tortured her whole life. It's really sad. And her gift is illusion. And so what her mother has done, the reason why she wanted her to be like in the water and like know how to like live in water or whatever, is because they can like siphon electricity from the water and siphon her power within the electricity in the water and create this illusion for all of the world, right? So they have literally put this illusion up that everything is barren, the animals are dead, there's no roads, it's just like cold and foggy, like it's just like a bad area, bad time for them. And so that people feel like, oh, we need to like rely on the reestablishment, because without them, like, how can we live in this world without them? They're giving us so much resources and everything. Apparently it's all an illusion. I would have to guess that the world is just as almost as gray and as barren as the illusion is, because like no one's been taking care of things the same way. Animals in nature have just been allowed to die off, basically. So I can't imagine that the real world isn't too far off from the illusion, but regardless, the illusion was put there in the first place to make people want to rely on the reestablishment. So she finds Emmeline. Emmeline is like, please kill me. I don't want to do this anymore. And of course, Ella / Juliet is just like, I don't want to do this either. But then their mother walks in, and Ella just fucking, she kills her mom. She's like, I'm out of here, you know, she's had enough. So she kills her mom. Warner has been put into a cell, just like the idol prison, I believe is what it's called. So he's just been picked up and put in prison. They find their way to each other and they're able to escape. Kenji comes up on Ella. In the Nazira, she had a big role in the previous book. Remember, she also has the ability of invisibility. She has the ability to fly, and she has commandeered a plane. Okay, so she's flying this plane, and Kenji's on the plane, and Ella's on the plane, and Warner's on the plane. And Ella and Warner, they're able to like come together and like understand that they have literally been in love so many times. It's like honestly a really cool concept. And I believe I was talking a couple like reading wrap-up videos ago, I was like, I need more reincarnation stories, and this one seems like a reincarnation story, and I really love that. I think that's a fun plot. They get on the plane, they are trying to like fly out of like where her parents' whole observatory blah 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 is. They want to get back to North America. Yeah, that's right, because they were in Oceania. So they want to get back to North America, where the rest of the resistance, the remaining people of the Omega Point, are. They jump out of the plane, they find Castle, they find their friends, everything's all good for the most part. I mean, everything sucks, of course. Oh, I forgot to mention this. Mr. Anderson came back. Okay, at some point, Mr. Anderson shows up to Warner, and how does he die? Oh, I don't remember. I can't remember. I want to say that Warner shoots him, but he comes back to life. Okay, so I believe that he has stolen part of the power from the Healer twins, and he has like put that into himself, and that was something that he did like books ago, back when he had captured them and held them as hostages in like book 2 or 3. So he has the ability to like regenerate and come back to life. So remember, Ella killed him in book 3. She shot him twice in the head, and then Warner kills him in this book, but then he comes back. I don't know where he is now. He's like gone. He's just like, oh, I gotta get out of here. Whatever. I'm sure we'll find him in the 6th book. I'm sure there'll be some big fight against him because I wonder how that's gonna go because he can just regenerate, I guess. But so Mr. Anderson is back, which is terrifying. Kenji and Nazira like each other, but they're like playing it cool, like they don't actually like each other. Warner and Ella are back together. It's all good. They're sleeping in the same bed. The end of the book was like so tear-jerky. Like I wanted to cry, but I chose not to. Warner had told Juliet at some point that he has never had a birthday party, okay? Right on his birthday every year, he would get lashings, and that was his birthday present from his father. Absolutely terrible. So his birthday is like that night, right after like everyone has gotten all together. They're in these like tents that Nazira and, oh, a couple of the other children from the Supreme Commanders have also shown up. So like the child from Africa and Nazira's brother, Hater, yeah, that's his name. Maybe one more, I don't remember, but it looks like the children are kind of all coming together for the most part. They want to fight against their parents and fight against Mr. Anderson. They want to fight against the reestablishment. They don't want to live this life anymore. They're all kind of like in agreement on that. The final chapter, it's Aaron's birthday, and Ella and company have all come together to create this like cute little happy birthday for him. Little birthday party. He's never had a birthday party. He's never had a birthday cake, and that's like a point throughout the book. So they wrote on his birthday cake, happy birthday, and he's like being bullied into like going up and blowing out his candles because, you know, he's like still hard and he's still like, oh, this doesn't mean anything to me, but it actually means so much to him. And it's so cute, and I thought that was adorable. That's all that I can remember to say. Let me look through the notes and see if there's anything else, because you know me, I always have something to complain about. In the beginning of the book, we are getting chapters from Warner and Ella's perspective. Kenji's perspective is also in the beginning of the book, and then it just kind of falls off. Like halfway through the book, we don't hear from Kenji ever again. So in the early chapters from Warner and Ella's perspective, we are getting a lot of these like italicized beginnings, like a page or two of the italicized, and that's like a memory. That's like a past regressed memory that's coming back to one of them. So one of these, okay, so she is telling Warner that we can live in the lake, she says simply, and this is like at a time after she has found out that his father is hurting him when they're children. What? I almost laughed. What are you talking about? That's Warner talking. I'm serious, she says. I heard my mom talking about how to make it so people can live underwater, and I'm going to ask her to tell me, and then we can live in the lake. So she's just like a little kid, and she's like, oh, it's fine, like we can go live in the water. Like my mom is trying to figure out this experiment for people to live underwater. And this is such an early chapter. When I read that, I was sick to my stomach because I've never forgotten the detail of Warner talking about how he had to torture a girl in water. And then later he finds out that that girl was her sister, Emmeline. So when she says, I heard my mom talking about how to make it so people can live underwater, it was like the confirmation of him having to torture her sister was hard, but then like the fact that we knew that it had to be the girl that was underwater, and that her mom had been creating this from the beginning, because we had not had that confirmed to us yet, that the mother was the one who basically sold the girls off as experiments. And just the thought of like her trying to create and make her daughter be someone who can live and survive underwater, and like torturing her to go through that. And like when we get the description of Emmeline and like her webbed fingers and like her gills, and just like she just like kind of just floats there, like she's just dead, like brain dead almost. It's just so terrible. Oh my god, it just makes me sick to my stomach. I just feel for the characters, I really do. Maybe it's because I've been with them for 5 freaking books. And then there were 2 very blatant grammatical and spelling errors in this book, and I already talked about one of them. And I've come across like other weird little grammatical errors, and I'm like, where's this editor? Like, that's not cool. So that's Define Me. Reveal Me is next, and I don't know whose POV this is, but I'm really excited to get into it. So I'm gonna shut up and read Reveal Me. Okay, I'm already loving this novella so much because it's so much more there's like so much more emphasis about the political side of things. So something that I didn't mention in the review of Defy Me is that there is a new character that has been introduced. Her name is Noria. She's Castle's daughter, and she has the power, I think she has like a power of light, like she can just like emit light, she can put like turn lamps on, things like that. And Castle had talked about how he thought his daughter was gone, like he just assumed she was dead because she was no longer there, but she has been like working on this other resistance group, right? She has a wife, her name is Sam, and they've just been like working, they have like this whole campsite, like this whole luxurious campsite like set up for the resistance, right? Okay. And when the plane was shot out of the sky in Defy Me that had Nazira, Kenji, Warner, and Ella on it, that was like their doing, because they needed to shoot them out of the sky to get them like down on the ground, right, to be part of their group and team and everything. So Reveal Me is from Kenji's perspective, so we have another novella from Kenji's perspective, and I'm really liking it. I'm totally really loving and appreciating it, because we're just getting so much more of Kenji's character, who I totally wrote off in the beginning. In the first book when he was there, I was just like, oh, he's just the comedic relief, like he's Adam's friend, it's no like whatever, I don't care about him that much. But as the story has progressed, he is just like, he's like my baby, you know what I mean? Like, he is that comedic relief who also has a lot of heart and has gone through a lot of struggle and just like wants to be loved and appreciated, just like he's seen other people be, but he also feels the need to like continue to put on this mask and this facade of like being like the funny hee hee haha guy who's like always gonna be good, like I'm good, it's fine, I'm fine. He doesn't feel like he can ever project his real feelings and like opinions on things. It's picking up right after Warner's birthday, and he is just like upset eating his cake because he's like, where's Adam, where's James, like where are my friends, you know, like they're not here. And they said that they didn't want to come along on this trip because Adam wanted to keep James safe. They don't know that Mr. Anderson is back, but we just have confirmed because Kenji gets woken up in the middle of the night. He is brought over to Castle and Noria, where he also finds out that Castle is like no longer the head honcho, like Castle is no longer the president, like he was the leader of Omega Point, but now we're in Noria, his daughter's vicinity, right? Like it is her fight now, it's her battle, she's the commander. She had found out like 14 hours ago that Mr. Anderson captured Adam and James, and she kept that from her father for like 12 hours, and now they're finally telling Kenji, and I guess they'll tell Warner and Ella in the morning. Like they want them to have like one night of bliss, right? It's his birthday. Okay, that's where we're at with this. I'm only like 39% of the way through it. It's really good. Kenji's perspective, I just love his POV. Whenever we were getting his POV in the other book, it was really good. He's fighting with Nazira like constantly, like they cannot admit their feelings for each other. They are just like battling it back and forth. It seemed like she was a traitor in Defy Me. It seemed like she was the one who helped Mr. Anderson capture up all the boys and put them in jail before they were broken out of. And she kind of like she did do that, but she did that in order to get the plane to be able to get them all out of jail, right? Remember, Warner was in idle prison and all that, and then him and Ella find their ways to each other, because of course they do. They're destined to love each other in every life. But anyway, so him and Nazira are fighting. He's just being like really rude to her, and that's going to be like a communication error trope that they're going to have to figure out for themselves if they do end up figuring it out. But the biggest point that I want to say right now is that Noria, the daughter of Castle, is like the leader of the resistance right now, and Mr. Anderson has captured Adam and James. Oh my god. And I was literally thinking as I was doing my wrap up of Defy Me, I was like, where's Adam? Like, I've not talked about Adam this whole time. It's because he stayed behind. He stayed behind to take care of his brother, and now he's been captured by his father. So I gotta find out what happens next. Okay, so I finished Reveal Me, and it was pretty good. Like I said, I love anything from Kenji's POV. I think that the author really understands that a lot of the audience likes Kenji, and that's why she keeps giving him novellas. Where we left off with this one is that Kenji is exhausted, okay? He has been through it. He is trying to put on a brave face for everyone, and he's so tired. He literally falls down out of exhaustion, okay? And they have to put him in the hospital to like just replenish him, give him fluids, like watch him and make sure he's all good. I'm like a little confused about the setup of this whole campsite, because it's like they're luxuriously like building a resistance. They have a hospital, like all of the tents have like a living room, a bathroom, a kitchen, a bedroom. Like it's like glamping to the next degree, but it's like, this is the resistance. Like we're supposed to be living in the dirt. I don't know. I mean, I guess technically they are living in the dirt, but whatever. Noria, Castle's daughter, is just like, she's just that good, okay? And apparently she's been planning for this for a long time, right? At the end of the novella, what happens is Nazira had come up on him. He didn't know who she was invisible, right? And she ran away, so he like ran after her thinking that she was a bad guy because she had like broke into his like hospital room, and she was just watching him. She was just kind of being creepy. Then he like feels her, he senses her, something like that, so he tries to fight her and find her, but she like kicks him and then runs away, and he gets his gun, he tries to shoot her. He eventually catches her. He's like, what are you doing? I don't trust you. Like, tell me what it is you're doing right now. She's like, leave me alone, I'm so humiliated. Like, I will never tell you, I'm so humiliated, you have no idea. It's revealed that when they had kissed in the book previous, I don't know if I ever mentioned that, but they had like a kiss. That was her first kiss ever, that she really likes Kenji. She thinks that he's like the best person ever. He's really adamant about getting to Mr. Anderson. He really wants to save Adam and James and all of those boys that Mr. Anderson captured, because he has the other children of the Supreme Leaders as well, and we just know that he's torturing them and putting them through all this bad stuff, but they can't just like drop down. Like, Noria keeps talking about how they need a plan and everything, right? So at the very end of the book, Nazira admits her feelings to Kenji. Kenji admits his feelings to her. It's likely they'll get together in the last book. I'm not sure though. I kind of get the feeling that Kenji might die. I feel like that would be a really memorable part of the book, is if the author decided to kill off Kenji, because he's just such a well-loved character and he's not like the main characters, you know? Honestly, it's kind of insane how Adam has just so not become a main character. Like, he's not even a secondary character. He's like totally just a very side character at this point. Kenji is so much more of a secondary character than Adam has been for the last like 4 books. But anyway, at the very end, him and Nazira have admitted their feelings to each other, and then they hear these screams, and so they run out, they go to the campsite, and they see that like the world, the illusion of the world is changing. So like people are scared and they're like running, and then it looks like they're running towards the sun, but then like the sun goes like under them, and so they're like running towards darkness, and they're like, whoa, like what the heck just happened? And then we see he comes upon Juliet, and she's like, Emmeline, no, stop. And then like that's where the chapter ends. That's where the book ends. So I'm sure that's gonna be like probably the first chapter of the next book, or we're just gonna pick up right where that happens. So it looks like maybe Emmeline's being tortured, and that's why the illusions are changing, and that's why things are different now. I don't know, but that was that. And I have one book left. I have, what is it, Imagine Me, and then Believe Me is the final novella. I'm almost done with the series. I have grown to fall in love with these characters. Like, I feel so bad for Warner, whereas in the first book and in his novella, I was like, this boy is pathetic. Like, he needs to grow up and grow a pair. But that's just like, he is a sensitive boy, and he was like trained to not be a sensitive boy, and so like he's just constantly fighting with his mind of like, I want to be like this, and I can't because my father won't let me. And then I love Juliet / Ella. I love her progression. Since the first moment we met her in the first book, I really liked her story and wanted the best for her. She's just been through the most. Kenji has grown on me immensely. I like all of these characters so much, and it's like I'm at the bitter end. Like, I'm at the end of the story. Look at this sweet baby. Have you ever seen anything so sweet in your life? Hey, Pancake. She's so big. She just cuddled up in this blanket all on her own. She nested in it like a little cutie. Okay, I'm already terrified because look at this. So the cover, first of all, beautiful. Absolutely love that cover. Okay, here's the title page. There's the dedication. We get to the table of contents. The table of contents, I have been just so obsessed every book, okay, because I feel like they give a lot of insight, and obviously as I read the book I'm gonna understand more. But look at this. So Ella is crossed out and Juliet is there. So what? Okay, is that like a flashback? Okay, I don't know. And then we get a Kenji chapter. Cute. But then the next couple chapters, you see this, Ella is crossed out and Juliet is crossed out for, and then we get back to Juliet. What is happening? Like, I'm already so scared. You guys. I don't know what's gonna happen in this one. I'm terrified that she might just kill everyone off, and I'm kind of like low-key hoping for that, just so it's like a super memorable. But I have been so into these characters these last couple of books. Like this, I just need to read it. And find out. Okay, I'm gonna shut up. Okay, no, I'm not gonna shut up because I turned the next page because I thought, wow, this is kind of weird. These table of contents, it's a bunch of Ella / Juliet chapters and Kenji chapters. There's no Warner chapters. He has the last chapter. Warner is in the last. Juliet's gonna die. That's my what's it called? Prediction. My prediction is Juliet's gonna die. Because what do you mean Warner has the final? I'm literally sick to my stomach. I feel like I'm doing flip-flops right now. Oh my, guys, I'm already going through it. Okay, so remember at the end of the novella, Kenji's novella, right? Juliet was on the floor screaming and crying. Something was going on. It looked like the illusion of their world was being messed with, right? And that's exactly what was happening. Emmeline has somehow, with her telekinesis and photokinesis abilities, right? She has been trying to get into Juliet's body. She even goes into Kenji's body at some point. And while she's like in his body and in his head, he's able to confer and come to the realization that Emmeline was trying to get into his body to see if he was strong enough to handle it so that he could come and kill her. Like she was trying to control him to come and kill her. Like Emmeline wants to die that badly, and I don't blame her. It's just so freaking sad. Like she can't even like unalive herself properly. Oh god, that's fucking sad. Okay, but instead she tries to go into Juliet / Ella's body, right? So Juliet is frozen, like it looks like she's having a seizure, you know, and Warner is trying so hard to help her, and he's like, Kenji, help me, and everything. And Warner never asks for help, so it's like a big deal that this is going on and everything. They're able to get Juliet into the hospital that's there in the sanctuary. They call it the sanctuary, the place where Noria, the daughter of Castle, has created a sanctuary. Okay, and with her ability to like bend and transform light, that's Noria's ability, she has basically been able to keep the whole sanctuary like it's immune to the illusions that Emmeline has been putting forth across the whole nation at the hands of the parents, right? At the hands of Juliet and Emmeline's parents. And so Juliet's in the hospital. She's like having these visions. She's like having these memories come back. She's like very incoherent. But while she's there in the hospital, she has this memory of when she was younger, after her parents had given her over to Mr. Anderson to be her social worker. And she has this memory of meeting this boy who is Mr. Anderson's son. And it's not Warner, it's a new boy that she's never met before, and he's very sad. And she's like, hi, I'm Ella, what's your name? The boy looks up then. His eyes are a deep dark blue. He's the saddest boy I've ever met, and it makes me sad just to look at him. I'm Adam, he says quietly. He turns red again. I take his hand in mine, smile at him. We're gonna be friends, okay? Don't worry about Mr. Anderson. No one likes us. He's mean to all of us, I promise. Then he says, I don't know. He's pretty mean to me. I squeeze his hand. Don't worry, I say. I'll protect you. And like, if you remember from the very beginning in the first book in Shatter Me, when Adam was tasked with coming to take Juliet out of the insane asylum, they remember each other from school. This is like where we're at with Ella's memories, because her memories have been wiped so much. Like, she does not remember Warner, right? She does not remember her older parents, like does not remember anything like that. When she sees Adam, she remembers that they went to school together, and there was one moment when they were in school where she saved him from his father. She like gave him some kind of comfort or something like that. I don't remember exactly how it was phrased, but she remembers him like, oh, he had a terrible father who was like hurting him, and I was like nice to him. And he remembers that. He's like, that's the girl that was nice to me. Like, no one was ever nice to me at that time in my life. And it's just like so sad, because like Adam and James are now like, they're captured by Mr. Anderson. They're being held hostages. It's all coming back around. Like, and yes, the rumors are true. I have already bitten off all of my nails. Every single nail has been tore off my hand. Hey, so remember when I was really worried about the table of contents, because on some of them it looks like Ella and Juliet's name were both crossed out, and then in others it just looks like Ella's name is crossed out, so just it's like a Juliet chapter, right? Yeah, I completely was in the right in being afraid of that. They just wiped her memories. And she thinks she's Juliet, and she's a soldier for the reestablishment. It's like PETA in the Marines. Guys, I can't do this. They are literally pulling my heart. They are pulling my heart apart with this part. I can't do this. Okay, I took a break. I had to go take a walk. I changed into a lighter shirt because I was just so amped up from that reveal. Guys, I have decided that I'm calm enough to continue reading Imagine Me. Okay, no, hell no, absolutely not. Okay, first of all, okay, Emma, get your freaking thoughts together. Okay, So at the end of the last book that we just read, James was being used as collateral. Okay, Mr. Anderson showed up with James. He was like, I'm gonna shoot this kid if you guys don't give me Juliet. They were able to save James, okay? And then from there, Mr. Anderson was able to steal Juliet away. James has recovered, and Warner goes to talk to James, and Kenji needs to go talk to Warner. So he kind of just follows Warner into the room with James. And Warner has like already been talking to James. And he reveals that James revealed that Mr. Anderson never captured the brothers, Adam and James. Instead, Adam offered himself up in exchange for James's safety, right? And so Mr. Anderson, of course, because he's evil, he still took James. He just put him in prison, but he didn't torture him or anything like that. He just like had to be isolated, little food, you know, whatever. Adam gave himself up. And then Kenji's like, but what does Adam have to offer? Like, Adam has no secrets. He hasn't been like hanging out with us. Like, he doesn't know anything that he can give to Mr. Anderson. And what did Adam give him? Adam gave Mr. Anderson his power, and his power has not been talked about since like the second book, if I'm remembering correctly, because remember, he could touch Juliet, he could kiss Juliet. After some point, it got harder and harder for him to handle it, because what was happening was he was able to somehow like absorb her power in a way, and his body was working overtime to be able to hold on to her power so that he could continue touching her and kissing her. But she's just so powerful, it was just like, it was too much for his body to handle, and that's part of the reason why they broke up, because she would eventually kill him, and then also she was falling for Warner on the side. But it was just now completely explained to us. He told them that he can use his power to turn other people's power off. He thought it might be useful to them. That's James talking. Imagine the possibilities, Warner says, affecting Awe. Imagine how they might weaponize a power like that for global use. How they can make such a thing so powerful they could effectively shut down every single rebel group in the world, reduce their unnatural opposition to zero. So it was never fully explained to us that Adam's power is literally taking away someone else's power. Like, I remember when Castle was doing the experiments in like the second book, he was like, yeah, we don't really understand it yet, but he's able to like hold on to your power for a time, and it's just too much for him. And then they literally never ever talked about his power ever again. So it's finally been like confirmed, revealed in this final book, that he can literally use his power to turn other people's power off. And now Mr. Anderson has that ability in his arsenal. All right, I have 25 minutes left in the book. Like, it's almost over, and I'm so scared. I'm not gonna update what has been going on just yet. I'm gonna finish the book. You'll see my reaction to that. Hopefully I won't burst into tears, and then I will let you know everything that happened in this book. And then we have one more novella to go, and then this video is donezo. And I'm so sad to leave the characters, honestly. I feel like I've lived with them for the past couple of weeks, and for it to be so close to being over, it's very bittersweet. But I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna finish Imagine Me. I'm gonna let you know what the fuck has been going on, because my brain, I've been crying every day. I've been crying every single day I've been reading this book. So, all right, let's go. This is so tortured. So stressed. I'm so stressed out right now. I'm on the final chapter, and then if you remember from the time I was freaking out about the table of contents when I first started the book, I'm at the final chapter, which is a Juliet / Ella chapter, and then there's 2 Warner chapters, and he has not spoken this whole book. Let's go. Dumb. I'm not liking this. I love that for him. Oh, that final line was so cute. Wait, that almost made me burst into tears. Hold on, don't look at me. That was not what I was expecting, and probably for the best, because I'm a depressing ass bitch, and if not everyone is staying alive in the end, I'm gonna have something negative to say about it, because I'm just annoying like that. Okay. All right, so unfortunately I have more questions than answers here at the end. I'm a little upset. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. This series has been such a roller coaster. In the beginning, it was good. I liked where we were going. I felt a dip at the end of the third book. I felt a huge rise in the fourth book. And with this final book, everything that has been going on has been such a steady incline. Like, I was so ready for so much greatness, and we got it, and then it just took a little bit of a dip again. I think it's just a problem with me. I'm the problem, it's me, okay, because I don't like endings. I don't love happy endings. I love endings that stick with you and hurt you, and that's just what I love, okay? That doesn't mean I can't enjoy a happy ending. With this one, however, I did not enjoy it, okay? So the last time we spoke, we got information that Mr. Anderson had captured Adam with the purpose of stealing his power, like using his power, which is to take away other people's powers. Okay, I keep wanting to say quirks. I'm still in a My Hero Academia phase. But, you know, everyone has all these talents and abilities. Okay, the kids of the Supreme Leaders, they all have abilities, right? And so he took Adam with the intention of using his power to take away other people's power. Okay, that never happens. That never gets brought up again, and it fucking sucks. Okay, we are at a point in the book where Mr. Anderson has taken Juliet. At the end of the last book, she killed her mother and she tried to save her sister Emmeline, but she was unsuccessful in that. Mr. Anderson got a hold of her, and him and her father, who he's a pussy. Her father's a big old pussy. He's scared of her, and he doesn't actually even do anything in the book. He's very, very disappointing. Mr. Anderson and her father have wiped her memories again, and this time it's stuck. It's literally like she opens her eyes and she's like, I am a soldier for the Supreme Commander of Oceania, or of North America, and I'm so excited to like finally be initiated into this. Like, I've been training my whole life for this, and it's finally time. She loves Mr. Anderson. She praises Mr. Anderson. She's yes sir, no sir, Mr. Anderson. Okay, she has no memories of anything prior to this moment. Okay, in the fifth book, when her mother swiped her memories, she still was strong enough to hold on to who she knew she was. She knew she was Juliet. She knew who Warner was. She knew her friends were, and she knew that she had to pretend like she just got her memories zapped, right? So she was pretending along with her mother, but then when she killed her mother, Mr. Anderson and her father just had some kind of other stronger serum to completely actually wipe her memories this time. Okay, so she believes she's a soldier. All she knows is Mr. Anderson. She even finds herself at some point falling in love with him. Like, there is some semblance of Stockholm syndrome that's here. And I also feel like it's not necessarily just Stockholm syndrome, it's just because she's simply attracted to his sons. She fell for Adam, and then she fell for Warner. Of course, Mr. Anderson is going to look like his sons. So at one point she starts having these weird feelings like, why do I find him attractive? She is very compliant to everything that he wants from her. He says, you know, you are my soldier. I am the one like who commands you. Like, you have to be honest with me. If I tell you to sit, you sit. If I tell you to kneel, you kneel. You know, like, he is very just, it's everything that they've wanted out of her. She's finally a super soldier. Okay, she took the super soldier serum. Everyone back on base. So Kenji, Nazira, Warner, they want to storm Oceania. Okay, they're back in North America, but they have all these plans to get a plane, go back to Oceania, get boots on the ground, get Juliet out. And also they have captured all of the other children of the Supreme Leaders. They've captured them to control their powers. They want to have their eyes on them so that they can't use their powers for purposes other than what the parents and the Supreme Leaders want them to use them for, right? So they've been captured, Juliet's been captured, they need to save Juliet. So that's the other side of the story, okay? When we get Kenji's perspective, Kenji's chapters, it's all about, you know, what are we gonna do? How are we gonna get over here? Okay, now we're in the plane, now we're jumping out of the sky, like now our plane's getting shot down. Okay, now we're boots on the ground, now we're in the facility, now we gotta get in, now we gotta find Juliet. They have the power of invisibility, and Aaron Warner is able to borrow anyone's power, so they have it kind of made in the shade in that sense. They get to Juliet rather quickly, and I can't stress to you enough how terrified I felt in all of the Juliet chapters when she just completely had her brain warped around to anything that Mr. Anderson wanted. Like, I was genuinely so scared. It was not just very believable, but tremendously spooky, because I was scared she was gonna kill people, like she was gonna kill her friends, you know, like I really believe that, because she never seemed to snap out of it at all. And any time in her own thoughts where she was like, why is this making me feel weird? I don't know if I should say yes to this. She would squash those feelings down. Like, she knew, like, no, I'm a super soldier. Like, why am I having these thoughts? Don't think like that, Juliet, you know? And she would immediately like reprogram herself to being the super soldier that she has been injected into being, okay? Mr. Anderson gets a little bit of redemption here. We get to a point where Warner, Kenji, and Nazira have stormed the facility in Oceania where they're keeping Juliet and all of the other kids, okay? And, you know, alarms are blaring, people are fighting, people are showing up dead. You know, Warner has like no mercy. He's just killing anyone that he needs to get to Juliet. And Mr. Anderson is like, we need to keep her safe. Like, what do we need to do to keep her safe? He locks her in a room. He puts her father in charge of her, but her father is literally terrified and he's like, I can't handle it. And so he just takes her out and brings her down to where Mr. Anderson is. And Mr. Anderson is with Emmeline, okay, with other doctors with Emmeline. And what their plan is that Emmeline is about to die. Her body has just been depleted. Her spirit is gone. She can't see anymore. She can't speak. Like, it's literally the saddest thing. She's described as more amphibian than human at this point because of how much she's had to evolve from the torture. Guys, it makes me sick to my stomach. And in case you forgot, they were using her ability to create visions to create the world as we as normal people would see it, as the soldiers would see it, as just everyone would see it, so that the reestablishment could just continue this control over people. So with the use of electricity through water, they were able to conjure her visions across the world, right? And they used that at the end of the fourth book when Juliet had thought that she killed everybody, when her parents came to come pick her up and take her back home and everything is revealed about her past life. It was a vision of her killing the 600 people and that they didn't actually die. Her visions are very believable, and since she's dying, since her body is literally starting to give out, they need a new host for this, and they're going to use Juliet. So Mr. Anderson is in the laboratory with Emmeline, and her father, who's scared of her, he's like, I can't babysit her anymore. I'm too scared of her. He brings her down to the laboratory. Mr. Anderson is like, why are you bringing her down here? We need her safe upstairs. Like, what if these people come and they actually get her and take her away from us? You're stupid. There are other doctors and stuff who are just fighting. They're all arguing about her. Some of them try to kill her. They're like, we just need to kill her. We need to get it over with and everything. And Mr. Anderson literally steps in front of her. He's like, if you're gonna kill her, you gotta kill me first, right? Juliet is standing there. She's just like trying to be the perfect soldier. She's just like taking everything in. She has no idea what's really going on. She doesn't even, I don't think she knows who Emmeline is. Like, I don't remember if she recognizes Emmeline in this moment. She's still in her super soldier era, okay? Well, she hears someone whisper next to her. There's an invisible person whispering next to her. And if you remember, Nazira and Kenji have the ability of invisibility. So what we find out is that they all are there. Aaron, Warner, Kenji, and Nazira are all there to break her out, and chaos ensues. Okay, Warner goes crazy. He goes X Games mode. He just kills everybody. He kills his father. His father has this regeneration ability, but because they just keep shooting him, like because they just keep powing it, it's over. He's over. He's dead. He's gone. And before Mr. Anderson dies, he commands Juliet one last time. He says, kill them all. That's her final task. Okay, so she's starting to fight them, and Kenji and Nazira decide to leave, and Aaron Warner looks at Kenji and Nazira. He's like, I got this. You guys need to go take care of the systems upstairs because we need to free all of the kids of the Supreme Commanders, right? Nazira is like, has hacking abilities all of a sudden. Okay, and so Kenji follows her upstairs, and he's like watching guard to make sure that they're safe so that she can hack the system to let the kids free. And downstairs, Adam and Juliet are fighting. They're fighting because she was told to kill him. She doesn't know who he is. Like, she has no memory of him. And he eventually gets through to her. And how he gets through to her is he starts hugging her, he starts kissing her, he starts touching her, he starts like laying her down. He takes off his shirt at one point so they can be like skin on skin contact, and that brings her back. And that's it. Like, that's how it goes. Okay, he brings her back to Juliet. She remembers everything. She remembers who he is, which is the most important part, and like kind of the point of the whole book, which is that they will always find each other in the end. They will always keep coming back to each other. And so she's able to push through the super soldier serum and be able to remember her memories of the love of her life, right? And so that's where we end it. Kenji and Nazira are able to get everyone out. They mention, oh, so-and-so, 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 and Adam, because remember, they had captured Adam. I totally thought that there was going to be this whole thing where they used Adam to take like Juliet's powers or Aaron Warner's powers or something like that. Like, I totally was expecting the reveal of James saying that Mr. Anderson stole Adam or kidnapped Adam with the sole purpose of using his power. Like, I was like, oh my god, that's going to be a huge climactic moment for sure, because like it's going to come all back around because Adam's been there since the beginning. But no, literally he's just thrown to the dust. Like, he has him in this whole book. Once Juliet like remembers things and has all of her memories back, she remembers her sister, and she goes to Emmeline, and it's sad. It's so sad because I feel so hard for Emmeline. She is the most tortured character. She has been through like the worst of the worst, like literally having to evolve from being a regular human girl to an amphibian by your mother's hand, and then your sister's boyfriend tortured you. Like, what the fuck? Like, I cut the cameras when it comes to Emmeline because I'll start crying immediately. So she holds Emmeline, she takes her like out of the water thing. It's just like chaos is everywhere, and she and Emmeline can speak telepathically, and Emmeline tells her, she's like, burn it all to the ground. Like, that's all I ask. Like, my final dying wish is that you burn it all to the ground. She also tells Emmeline, I'm gonna bring your body back. Like, I want to bury you at home. Like, I want you to be near me. I'm not gonna let you burn in this place. So they take Emmeline, they burn it all to the ground because Juliet has the ability, you know, she's been screaming this whole time. Everything's basically on fire anyway. And then that's it. And then that's literally the end of the story, is that they burn it all to the ground. She takes Emmeline, and then the final 2 chapters, which are Warner chapters, it's like the wedding, okay? Because there's been this whole point throughout the book and throughout the 5th book too, where he says, I want to marry Juliet. And Kenji is like, okay, well, in order to marry her, you need to get down on one knee, and you need to have a ring, and you need to plan something, and at least buy her flowers, and da-da-da-da-da. And Warner's never seen a movie in his life, okay? He has no idea how people in the movies propose. So he's just like, what do you mean I gotta do all that? And then eventually he lets it slip to Juliet. He's like, I want to marry you. And she's like, you want to marry me? And so they're low-key engaged, but then they get separated. She becomes a super soldier, and then in the end of the book they do end up getting married. And of course it's not like the conventional kind of wedding, like she has no wedding dress, and that's like a big point. And then that's it. They live happily ever after. There's a mention of Adam in the end, how Adam is like genuinely happy. It's like he's smiling for the first time, a real smile. And that's the end of the book. I loved the moments, the Juliet chapters when she's with Mr. Anderson. I ate those up. Okay, I have been intrigued with Mr. Anderson forever. We get a little bit of insight that he was tortured as a child as well, and like his mother, they said his mother would make him drink bleach. That's crazy. Don't know how he's alive, but yeah, that was an insight that we got, that his mother hated him and she did that to him to torture him. And then he grew up, had a kid, had 3 kids, tortured them. Okay, cool. Tortures his son's girlfriend as well, and her sister. Just an evil man, but I have been very intrigued with his characterization. I feel like I'll give it a 3-star because, like I said, I liked the chapters with Juliet and Mr. Anderson. I felt those to be so intriguing, but the payoff was not it at all. She was able to snap out of it with him like hugging her. It's like, okay, I get it, because this whole time, this whole series has been all about touch and human touch and like how healing that is for the soul. Okay, I get it. That's why it came back around. I was hoping that there would be something more with Adam. Like, he has been thrown the fuck away. He's been in the garbage this whole series since book 2, okay? And yeah, so next we have Believe Me, and I'm excited to know why did we need another novella? It ended, they got married happily ever after, everyone's good, everyone's happy, everyone loves Juliet. They talk about how the people, they praise her, they want her to bless their babies, they want to touch her, they want like all this from her because she saved them yet again from the reestablishment, and it's all happy. And then there's one more novella, and it's the longest novella. I think it's like 150 pages, so I'm gonna read that real quick. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what to expect. I don't even know whose POV it is, but that was the end of the Shatter Me series, at least the books. Okay, I'm gonna go read Believe Me, unless you know what the fuck is going on. I'm so tired. I'm so tired of Warner's ass. I'm so annoyed with him. He's just so insufferably angry, and like not in an enjoyable way to read at all. Like, everyone ever who has ever talked to him in the history of the world is just like beneath him to the nth degree. Like, they are like roaches under his feet, except for Juliet, and we're supposed to find that really endearing and romantic, and it's honestly just tiring. Like, Kenji is trying to help him out with something at the very beginning of this little novella. I'll like get into specifics later, but he's just being so, I don't even know the word, like I don't even know what to call it, just disagreeable to everything, to anything. It's like he's physically incapable of seeing anyone outside of himself except for Juliet. And that's like such a bad character trait. He's annoyed me since the beginning and he's continuing to annoy me. There is like no redemption in that either, which I find annoying. And then Adam was just thrown away, which I was not endgame Adam. Like I did not care for Adam in that way at all. I wanted the author to give us more about and for Adam because he is such a pivotal character in the story, and he was totally just thrown to the wayside. And I still love Juliet, like love the girl down. I've never had an issue with her ever, and she continues to never give me an issue. I continue to root for her, but I just can't get behind this Aaron Warner, the best book boyfriend of all time propaganda. Wait, no, I forgot beef. I forgot beef that I had with the final book. Okay, the 5th book going into the final book. So if you remember, I believe it's in the 4th one, she has a crash out so bad that she shaves her head. Okay, we've all been there. I mean, maybe. And when she's captured by her parents and her mom like injects her to make her lose her memories again, and she's supposed to be like a different person, like she's supposed to look different and everything, her mom had, it was never explained, but she had her hair grow back. Like Juliet is like, wait, why is my hair long? Like I remember my hair was short. And then when Mr. Anderson takes her memories, because remember when her mom took her memories, she actually still had like a semblance, like she knew who she was. She was just pretending in order to survive in that moment against her mom and everything. But then when Mr. Anderson made her super soldier with the super soldier serum, she genuinely did not remember her past at all. But sometimes she would get like little flickers. Like at one time she like talks about her hair, she touches her hair, she pulls her hair back. She's like, I feel like I remember it being short. So there were 2 instances where she talks about my hair was short before, I think my hair was short before, right? And where we're at with this novella and at the end of the book when she remembers herself, her hair is long. And there's never, ever any talk or explanation or any just story, plot line, like anything, nothing at all having to do with the hair. And for me, that was such an important part of the 4th book because she shaves her head and she would use her hair to hide behind. And so in her shaving her head, it's just like she is more striking. She feels more alert. Like she's not able to hide behind her hair anymore the way that she did for years because she was just a really, really scared girl who was lonely. She couldn't hide behind her hair anymore. It was short. She had a buzz cut. And even now in this novella, he's talking, because it's from Warner's perspective, he's talking about her hair and her long hair and all this stuff. It bothers me so bad that that was not a plot line that was further explored. The same way that Adam is a plot line that was not further explored. He was just thrown away. He was there to be sweet and helpful, and then he was there to be evil to her and rude as hell, and then he was just thrown in the garbage. And same with this whole hair plot line. And I am definitely just making it a bigger deal than obviously Tahira Mafi ever wanted to make it. But it just bothers me because I loved when she cut her hair. I loved that sense of empowerment that she got when cutting her hair. And then suddenly her mom just gives her back long hair because she's just like, she's probably like, why do you have a boy's haircut? You know, she's probably like, we're gonna give you long flowing locks again, girly. But then Juliet never had anything to say about that. She didn't have a say in her hair getting changed again. And it bothers me so bad. And still in this novella, he's just talking about like how pretty her long hair is or something to that effect, and it's bothering me so bad. For what it's worth, this novella does contain probably the cutest sex scene I've ever read in my entire life. Usually, okay, I'm used to these nasty, dirty, let's get down and dirty with it, but this was adorable and I'm happy for them. I actually am super happy. Okay, I'm happy for Juliet. It's what she deserves, honestly. Okay, I was just gonna wait until tomorrow to end out this video, but I decided now is just as good a time as any. I'm also so ready to get this series off my chest. I'm ready for it to be over and done with in my life. I'm ready to check it off as another dystopian YA series that I have finished, that I finally read in my attempt of consuming series. And believe me, we start off with the final 2 chapters of Imagine Me, which were Warner's perspective. It was the epilogue of the story, just further going into the description of the fact that Warner wants to marry Ella/Juliet, that it's all good, everyone's happily ever after, the reestablishment has been dismantled and is being reborn as something better and stronger for everyone, and if you have power, it's okay, we can help you, we can work with you, we won't demonize you, and we won't utilize you as a weapon. All of her friends are alive, everything's good, gooey, and awesome. Okay, instead of sad, gory, and depressing, which is how the world was under the reestablishment. Okay, anyway, so believe me, that's the book, that's the novella. This is all Warner's perspective. It's 14 chapters of being in Warner's head, and listen, we get more and better character development of Warner in this novella than we did the previous 6 books and 5 novellas, okay? And I have beef with that, but I'm gonna put it to the side because at least thank God we got some characterization. At least thank God we got some development. At one point, he even looks around and he smiles because he, quote, "I have friends now." That's cute, and I love that for him because he has been through the fucking ringer, okay? I mean, his dad used to whip his back on his birthday just because it was his birthday. The torture and violence that these children go through, not my thing, not my forte, not what I want to be reading about. It makes me extremely uncomfortable. I don't even know how to approach the topic because it is fiction, but things still happen, and it's just like, it's sad and depressing, and I don't want to hear about it. The whole premise of Believe Me is that they're supposed to have a wedding, right? Everything's all good. After the end of Imagine Me, Juliet is just, she's done. Like, she's expunged. Like, she has given everything that she can give. Her body is broken. She's bleeding out of her eyes and her ears and her teeth and her nose. She has a broken leg. Her femur bone is literally like out of her leg, okay? She is just like, she's been through it. Her sister died in her arms. Like, she killed her mother. She's been through it, okay? And when they finally get back to the sanctuary where everyone is, she is out cold for 10 days. She has to recover. It takes her 10 days to recover. So where we start the book, which is also the epilogue of Imagine Me, it's 14 days after the end of the book. So she's been recovering for 10 days, she's been on her feet for 4 days, and she's already doing the most. She's already being the leader that she was meant to be, that she wants to be. And Warner, all he cares about is her. Like, we know this, we've been known this, okay? He does not care what anyone has to say to him about anything. He only cares about what benefits her, what's hurting her, what's on her mind, what does she need, what can I do for her? And Juliet's the opposite because she thinks about everybody else, including Warner. Like, it's very reminiscent of just how gender norms tend to be in relationships, and in just general, the women tend to care and take care of everyone, and the men have like one person that they genuinely actually care about. They're incapable of dividing their love and attention the way that women tend to have to in order for things to go smoothly and for things to be taken care of and fixed for people. Anyways, okay, Emma, stop. You're literally just rambling. So Warner gets told that they can't have the wedding. They were supposed to have the wedding tonight. Castle's daughter, Noria, who is the leader of the sanctuary, she is like, listen, we don't have the resources. You guys don't have any dresses. Like, we don't have the clothes. Like, do you even have a ring? Like, all this stuff. We can't have a wedding tonight. Everyone's tired and we're just not able to do it. And he's upset. He goes home. Ella comes to bed. He has not been able to like hang out or talk to her much because she's just been busy doing all of this leadership work, and so he's just been moping around because the only person he wants to talk to is not able or available to talk to him. She thinks he's asleep when she comes to bed, so she falls asleep right away. She's just exhausted, she's tired. The next morning he wakes up, she is out of bed already, and he's like, God, like, I don't even get a moment with her. People come up to him, Kenji comes up to him, other people from Omega Point that we've been learning about throughout the series, they keep coming up to him, hey, we got something to show you, like, can you come out of your room? And he's angry and evil and upset. He's like, leave me alone, I hate all of you, I wish you all would die. Like, he's just so freaking negative, man. And then Ella / Juliet comes back into the room. Here's the thing, okay, he calls her Ella, everyone else calls her Juliet. She has reclaimed the name Juliet. She tells everyone she wants to go by Juliet. But Warner is allowed to call her Ella because that's how he's always known her. Remember, they were friends when they were kids. They've fallen in love like 18 times and then their parents kept zapping their memories. So he is allowed to call her Ella. That's his name for her, and that's cute. I think that's really sweet. So I am going to continue to interchange Ella and Juliet. Okay, they're the same person, we know. She comes back to the room, she brings him a coffee. She's like, oh, like, you were asleep, I didn't want to wake you, blah, blah, blah. She's like, I have a surprise for you today. And she takes him outside, and all of these other people who were trying to get him to come out of the room, they're like, oh, there he is, finally, we have things to do, man, like, we have surprises for you too. And she's like, oh, what could the surprise be? Because I have a surprise for him. Like, what are you guys planning? And turns out they are going to end up having the wedding today. So cute, right? They had been lying to him for a night. They lied to him for one whole night about how they couldn't have the wedding that night because they wanted to surprise him in the morning, and they love surprising Warner. If you don't remember, at the end of one of the books, I don't remember which one, maybe the 5th book, I think, they had a surprise birthday party for him because he'd never had a birthday party. He'd never had a birthday cake, and she set up this whole grand birthday party for him. The surprise party was so cute. And so now they're gonna surprise him with a wedding. And Juliet's like, oh, well, I have a different surprise for him. So she takes him into like almost like restricted grounds, like it's outside the sanctuary, but like everything's safe, and like also they're Warner and Juliet, like they're allowed to explore if they want to. And she has this house that's reminiscent of the house that he grew up in with his mother, who he loved, the only person that's ever like been nice to him in any way, and reminds him of like the only good time in his life, which is when he was with his mother, because anytime he was with his father it was torturous. She had saved this house, she had been working a little bit on this house, and she was like, there's gonna be a lot more work that needs to be done, but you know, like this is for us, this is our house. They are getting ready for the wedding, and then the book just kind of ends there, like as Juliet is about to walk down the aisle. Warner is sitting next to Kenji. He's about to have a panic attack, and if you don't remember, I think in the 4th book he has a panic attack that Kenji helps him through, and it was like a very vulnerable moment for him, and a moment for him to open up to someone. And he just realizes that he has friends. You know, he has these people who care about him. He has these people who work to make him happy and satisfied and feel like he's part of a community, and he's never had that, and that's why he's so boisterous and so against the idea of people helping him and being friends with people. But he is able to come to terms that he has friends now, and it's cute and it's really sweet. They have a dog. While he's sitting up there before Juliet comes down the aisle, he can like feel people's emotions. That's a superpower of his I haven't talked about a lot because it really was not important for this whole wrap up, but that is one of his superpowers, that he can feel people's emotions. So he knows when someone's like lying to him, he knows when someone's falling in love with him, he knows how Juliet feels about him. Like he has just these ways to read people. Because he's up there in front of everyone being vulnerable in this moment, about to get married, he starts to have a panic attack, just very slightly, because he can just feel so many people's emotions, and it's like very loud in his brain and he just can't handle it. So Kenji helps him through it very like coolly and suavely. He makes it so the other guests can't tell that Warner's freaking out, and it was cute and it was sweet, and it was a good wraparound, a good way to end it. Honestly, I love this ending fully so much more than the ending of Imagine Me, where it's just like, oh, we're all good, but like now randomly Aaron Warner's upset about this wedding that's not gonna happen. Like it was random, honestly. Like it's very good that she continued with the story and continued with this wedding, and like gave them a better happily ever after, if you know what I mean. So that was Shatter Me, guys. I did it. I read all of them. That was 6 books. That was 6 books. I believe it was 5 novellas. I'm tired and I'm exhausted, and I'm so excited to never hear or read about Aaron Warner again. I think in the end he was redeemable, but throughout he would just bother me, and I just simply could not relate or sympathize with him fully. I know some people really are so down bad for him because he's just so hyper focused on Juliet. He, you know, you touch her, you die, you hurt her, you are going to be dismembered, like I will kill your family if you look at her. Like people love that, and that kind of toxic energy is just like, I get it's fiction, like I get it, and trust me, there are plenty of things that I read in fiction that I do not actually want to happen in the real world, but I just could not get behind this man to save my life. I love Juliet, like love her bad, and I'm so happy that she's happy. I'm glad that she didn't die in the end. I think it would have been very memorable and tragic, and I just am someone who loves a tragedy, but I'm very glad that she ended up living a good, happy, healthy, safe, loving life, which is what she was missing from the beginning of the book, because she deserves it. That's the thing. Here's the thing. She is a character who deserves a good ending, and I can't believe I didn't think about this before when I was waxing poetic about how badly I wanted a tragedy. But in the very beginning of the story, when she's in the insane asylum and Adam has been tasked with going to get her, but first they put him in the insane asylum with her to like kind of gauge how well she knows her powers and like who she is as a person. She just thought that he was just some guy who was put into the cell with her, and instead of being scared of him, she was more scared for him. She was like, oh, like I get it, like you've never been here, you don't know how things work, no one showed me the ropes, I've been living here for a year by myself, no one has ever talked to me, and I'm gonna show you where the showers are, I'm gonna tell you how the meals work, I'm gonna like help you through this, because I didn't have that ability. Like no one helped me right when I was first put here. And so from the very beginning we get such an amazing sense of the kind of person that Juliet is, and for her to get the happily ever after that she deserves in the end, I love that. I love that for her so much. And that was sweet and it was cute. And if Warner is what makes her happy, by all means, girl, I'm happy for you. That was Shatter Me. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was a good conclusion to the first video. Thanks for watching both if you did that. If you are a returning subscriber clicking on another video of mine, thank you so much. I really do appreciate the support. If this is the first video you've ever seen of mine, like, please consider subscribing below so you don't miss any other book or maybe content that I make in the future. Give this video a like if you liked it. All of my social media are in the description box down below, so check those out if you would like to. And I will see you in the next one. Mwah. Bye!